Hi everyone, Emma here. Take a look at what I've done. So I've been working with these Delica beads that are, let me adjust the camera here. These are Delicas that I bought on AliExpress, and I bought a whole, I bought every color that they had. So it was a huge collection. So you can see these are some of the ones that are left. Like these holes are all full, but I've pulled them out because I'll just give you a quick peek here. I'm getting ready to do a loom bracelet with this one. So I haven't quite decided if I'm gonna actually do it on camera or not, but there's that one. So I think definitely these beads would be wonderful for a loom bracelet. In the meantime, I wanted to make a bracelet for my wife, and I have to say, I asked her, okay, so what do you want? She's like, I don't know. You want a pride bracelet? Yeah. So she has so many pride bracelets that I've made her. We probably won't be going to any of the pride events, although she read them off to me to see if I was interested. But since I still have to have cancer treatment, radiation treatment, I'm still being really careful with my exposure for COVID. I also have to have the pelvic floor um, repair surgery, which they will be doing abdominally, so it's pretty invasive. So yeah, have to be careful. Anyway, I'm doing a lot better, so I just want to put that out there. I had a good night's sleep last night. It's been a rough couple of days and stuff thinking about things, but I did a bit of research on the radiation therapy and outcomes and stuff like that, and I feel really positive about it. So I think I am just gonna, take it one day at a time, and whatever the recommendation, I'm gonna go with that. And right now, the recommendation is the radiation therapy. There was some question about whether to do the local, which is the area that they took out, or to do the full breast. And when I reread my pathology report, there's tumors throughout the breast. They're calling them benign tumors, but I mean, they're calling them that just by looking at them under the, well, I guess yeah, I'm not sure. I guess it would have been the mammogram because it wasn't in the tissue that they removed. Anyway, that's like a really detailed stuff. But so there is a few changes going on in the breast. So I think the full breast radiation is the smarter way to go. So yeah, so I'm just doing my best to condition the skin and make sure I have all my vitamin D and B12 and prepare to do some increase in my protein and stuff like that, and take care of the skin before the radiation, and hopefully I won't be too bad. So in the meantime, I've been playing with these unbelievable beads. I have to say, I love them. Now, I did find when I reviewed another set of Delica beads, and the other set were actually listed as 11Os, and you can take a look at that video. I found that the opaque colors were garbage. I would not recommend them, and I think somebody had asked me about that just this week. So I did tell them don't bother with the red one or the opaque ones. They're more for playing with and figuring things out. I'll just quickly show you. I made this guy with those, and these, like, the way, I don't know, yeah, you can kind of see it's raised here. So the white ones were good, but these opaque ones were all weird shapes and different sizes and stuff like that. So that's why it raised up like that. So, but I mean, this is so much fun. Like, and then here's the black one. The black one was much bigger than the rest of the beads. Now, I will say the metallics from that unboxing are incredible. I would recommend them. I've reordered them multiple times, so I have a nice selection of these. They are just like Delicas, Miyuki Delicas. They're perfect. And the coloring is perfect. Yeah, and somebody asked about, a few people ask about whether the colors come off on your hands. Even these ones that I feel the colors are not the best did not come off on my hands. And you can see I've made a few things here and I have some other stuff I'm going to show you. So, let me, I might be able to show you in this here. Get rid of the cat lint. Yeah, there's one right here. Oh, let's enlarge this. So, let me see if I can get that a little sharper. So you can see those are not coated properly. So there's some difference, but, and they're all like that. Some are worse than others. That's probably the worst right there that you're going to get. And that was like maybe one or two that were like that in the amount that I've used. So, and specifically in certain colors too. Some colors I find are worse than others. So like these colors here, the reds, orange, and yellows were perfect. I didn't see any discoloration. Now there's a wonky bead. I forgot to take that one out. So yeah, things like the blue and the purple, they're not the best. So, but you can see this still turned out good. I have to tell you what this is, in case you're wondering. I think it could be a lot of things. So this was supposed to be this. Ta-da! I watched a video on how to make it, and this is what came out. So by the time I got to here, I'm like, okay, I'm doing something wrong. And then I read back, and it was very clear. It said only add 5 and 4 to each color, and then turn it and continue, and this is what you get. So now I didn't continue on with this. This is an interesting design for a bracelet. So this, you would just keep repeating this for the whole length. I don't particularly like it. I don't know. Maybe if I did it with, so the other thing with the opaque colors I find is sometimes they look like plastic beads to me. So definitely adding like a silver accent or gold helps elevate them a bit. But I do find if the quality of the bead is not there, then you're really going to see it. It will look like a toy. It'll look plastic. So that's just me. And this, yeah, I don't know about this design. I think this would look a lot better if I put silver Delicas on the tips. And you know what? After this, now this I added at the end, but after doing this one, I'm like, I can't figure out how to get that one to be silver. That's so bad. But you know what it is? My brain is so fried with all the stress of everything that's going on that trying to figure out like simple little things like that is just I'm tired and my thinking is just not there. So anyway, I'm sure telling you guys you'll be like, Emma, just go like this, do this. So I appreciate that. So let me put. So I also wanted to mention when we're talking about colors and the beads themselves, for the quality, I will show you. This is the only beads that I had to cull out. So I'm really impressed with this. Now, having said that, I should mention that, let me see. Now, when you look at this, it looks fine. This one especially looks pretty straight. I don't see any, but we also have the silver, and I found that like the other unboxing I did, I find the metallics are better quality. So these are like nice and thick. See how, I mean, those look perfect. I did find that there was very minute differences. Let me see if I can show you on this one right here. Let me pour these out and show the back here. So this one is taller than that one. Now, when you're looking at a glance, you can't really see that, but I'm just pointing that out for the quality to show you. They're still pretty good. I'm looking, everything looks good. So yeah, the metallics are really good. Now I'll just, since we're talking about the metallics, this was the first one I did. And I don't know if you can see this, but this is wonky. You see it kind of goes up here and comes down, and let me see. I did find, okay, so here you can see it curves here and it curves down here in this section. So it's very slight. When I started working on it, I was like, okay, so you can really see it's coming down here, sticking out, and then it pops up. You won't get that with Miyuki Delicas. So somebody did ask if these were Miyuki Delicas. I thought they were because the company said they were, but actually Maria from Spain looked it up for me, and she did find that it's, I think it's called Aiden, the company that makes these beads that are similar to Miyuki Delicas. So they are not Miyuki Delicas, but the price was relatively good. You kind of have to decide where you're at with that. I feel like this was great. I love like searching AliExpress for stuff like this and then get a bunch and do a review to help you guys out. And it's fun for me, right? I would myself buy the Miyuki Delicas if I was making stuff like this all the time. But I also have access to funds to do that, and I know not everybody has that ability. So that's why I bring, I do these reviews so that you can see if it's something you want to try. So the thing I found with this gold, now I did find it was more so than the silver, it was kind of wonky. But once you started going the full length, you didn't notice it. And I just kind of stretch them out a bit and get it nice. And let's take a look on my wrist, what it looks like. I mean, that looks pretty straight to me. So, I mean, you can see a bit here coming in. And then there's a bit of a space and stuff. So there's that. And let's just quickly talk about what I would do with these bracelets. So Kath from England sent me these lovely origin tags, and there's a video from Potomac Beads, and I can't remember her name. I really love her accent. I love her videos. Anyway, she shows you how to put this on one of these bracelets, and with a 2mm round crystal, and then do the rest of the bracelet. In that video, actually what they do is they take those 2mm rounds and they use it to hold the tag in. So the 2mm rounds will hold it in at this hole, and then they continue on. So if you have this like that, then they continue on and at it. I don't particularly like the design of like the crystal sticking out along here. So that's just my preference, but I think these would look amazing just like that, with like a crystal holding it in, and that's it. And as for the clasp, so there's a bunch of options for clasps. There's this here, which is a fold over. These have these holes here. So I would finish this off with maybe some 11/0 rounds in the middle slots and then attach it like that. I guess I'd have to put a Delica on the end. There's one missing there. Do that, or you could bring it into a triangle and attach it this way. This is a heart magnetic clasp, so you could do that. And you can do one of these. These are the ribbon ends, and you can do that. That would look amazing. You'd have to probably add some glue to this because this has a bit of a groove here, teeth to sink in. But since these are glass, you don't want to break the beads, so you might want to put a bit of glue, then squeeze it, but not super tight. So you can have that with these magnetic. And then the other option, I mean, there's so many options, but I initially put this out so that we could do them, but I just have too much going on. So I just thought I'd do a pure review, and I'll get back to that in a second. So this is a good one too to put, because let me show you here what this looks like. So you could easily conceal the end with that one. That one looks amazing. So there's that, and then I just pulled out for my wife's this fold over magnetic one. That's probably the one I'm going to do. Actually, there's another one here that I like, these slider ones. That would look nice too, right there. So, and these just pop off. These are friction. There's the little piece of wire there. Turn there. Okay, so that's that. So to give a full review of this, let's talk about the color choices in the sense that, I'll bring this out a bit. So when I was picking for the rainbow colors, I did find, and I find this in a lot of beads, that I have a hard time finding a dark red. So initially I pulled out this thinking it was red, and this is what I came up with. So there's one row of red and there's one row of orange, and I'm like, no, actually these are both this one here. So there's two rows there. Here is what I thought was orange. There's I don't know if you could see this. There is a variation between that, and I missed a line. There should be a second line. This was my practice piece. So it was, just show you the colors. So next to, like in the bottles, they look pretty good, but actually, yeah, you can see these are way too close together. So for doing kind of contrast rainbow stuff, you really need to have some wider variation in the tone of the color. So this should be, and that's the other thing is, so I find it hard to find a dark red, and I find it hard to find a dark orange. So I did. So I came back to my office and I went, I know there's another red. So you can see how close they are in color, or in darkness tone. So this is what I ended up working with, like this. And I think so I kept this one as the orange instead of this, because it was too close to the yellow, and there's your combination. So just playing with some colors, because these beads are a different size than, say, an 11/0 Delica. They are more like 10s. You have to kind of, if you buy some of these, you kind of have to use them together. So you're limited to the colors you have. So that's why I'm pointing out these variations in colors can hamper your projects. So I started out with this one, and then of course realized the color change that I needed to make. So then I did this one. This was a little better, but you can see these are so close in color. So enough about the rainbows. Oh, I was going to do something like this. I was going to use this as a keychain or a pendant. And actually, I think I ended up thinking this might be nice. A star at the top. And do like a keychain with that one. And this one I was going to turn into a bracelet. And I thought it'd be cool to do something like this on the bracelet. And add either chain or continue with this pattern. So I think that would look pretty amazing. So there's that. That's those guys. So I wanted to mention, I did say about the culling of the crappy broken beads and stuff like that. I think this is pretty average. Actually, I might even consider it less than, because I pulled out a bag of treasures to work on. Yeah, these guys here. I was shocked at how crappy these were. They were so bad. The sizing on them was uneven. There was a lot of misshapen beads and stuff. And this is supposed to be the good company. So anyway, so this is pretty good. And then there, you get these here that stick together. And I did get maybe 2 or 3 in each color. Some colors I find you get more of. So like these purples. Normally you can just break it with your nail and it comes apart, but that one wouldn't. So, yeah, I'm sure you guys are wondering how these do for bezeling. So I have to put a disclaimer out there. I suck at bezeling. I love doing it and I have a bunch of attempts. It just never seems to go my way. I have tried to use the Delicas to get it started and then use a 11-0 seed bead and then a 15-0 to bring it to the middle, and I never seem to be able to do it correctly, but I'll show you one of my examples so we can compare. So this one here, these ones in the middle are a smaller Delica, and I apologize, white's hard to see. So these are these sections here. I did find they were great to work with, but you know, when I look at it now at a distance, I think they're too big for doing bezeling of a smaller thing. If you had a bigger crystal, like something like this cabochon, I think you could do a good job with these big Delicas. And so not too bad. I think if you're better at doing bezeling, you might be able to get a better. Like I did a bunch of weird stuff. Like I should have put an 11-0 in between. I just took 15s and put 2 15s. You guys are probably laughing like, oh my gosh, Emma. Anyway, it looks nice. So, yeah, I think they're too big in the sense, like if you see, they get kind of pointy, like almost like an octagon instead of circular shape. So that was that one. On this, I think it's a 12 millimeter crystal Rivoli. So then I took this oval one and did it, and this one actually looks really good. But again, you can see the spaces with these. So I do think they are, you know, a little too big for this. But you can see it works. So this one turned out pretty good. And again, the front I used 50-0 beads, and the beads were Tohos and they were crappy. I was surprised. The 15s just did not do what they needed to do. So anyway, so that's that. And just to show you, this is These are not Delicas. These are from that previous unboxing I did of the Delica type beads. And these are the metallics. Now this blue metallic, the paint is not even across, so just a reminder about that. But you can see on these, and I had I didn't realize I had put one of those beads that had two stuck together, and so I just went ahead and grabbed the two, and every time I got to that spot I added it, and I mean you can't tell at all with this. So that's just an indication how the smaller size fits so much better together. I tried to find an actual Delica bezel that I did, and for some reason I can't find any. I actually have a container. Let me see if I can see it. That's all I have is these guys that I've done up. So this is another example of the smaller Delica type bead can do a really good job at bezeling. So just FYI. So thank you so much for joining me. I will say goodbye for now. I have some other stuff to show you, so stay tuned for the next video. Bye.